respected. If you keep waiting for the perfect moment, one day you'll wake up and realize your entire life was spent waiting instead of living. Success doesn't belong to the strongest, the smartest, or the luckiest. It belongs to the person who decides to become just 1% better today than they were yesterday. Don't let another day become another excuse. Your future is listening to every choice you make right now. There comes a moment in every person's life when they quietly ask themselves a painful question. Is this really the life I was meant to live? Maybe you're asking yourself that question today. Maybe you're tired of watching the years disappear while your dreams remain exactly where you left them. Maybe you've convinced yourself that tomorrow will be different, but tomorrow keeps becoming another yesterday. The truth is, life doesn't disappear all at once. It slips away in tiny moments. 5 minutes of scrolling becomes an hour. One missed opportunity becomes a habit. One excuse becomes a lifestyle. Before you know it, the person you once dreamed of becoming feels like a stranger. I want you to imagine something. Picture yourself standing in front of a mirror 10 years from now. Look closely into your own eyes. What do you see? Do you see pride because you fought through every obstacle? Or do you see regret because fear kept making your decisions? That future version of you is depending on the choices you make today. Every single day, you're writing a story. The question is whether you're writing a story that inspires you or one that disappoints you. So many people think success is one giant breakthrough. They believe one lucky opportunity will suddenly change everything. But life doesn't work that way. Greatness is never built in one extraordinary day. It's built in thousands of ordinary days that nobody applauds. The world celebrates championships, but it never sees the mornings when nobody wanted to wake up. The world admires confidence, but it never sees the nights filled with doubt and silent tears. Every remarkable life is built behind closed doors where no audience is watching. That's why becoming 1% better every day is so powerful. 1% doesn't sound exciting. It doesn't create headlines. It doesn't impress your friends overnight. But that's exactly why most people ignore it. They underestimate small improvements because they only pay attention to dramatic changes. Yet the biggest trees began as tiny seeds. The tallest mountains were formed one layer at a time. Rivers carved through solid rock, not because they were powerful in one moment, but because they never stopped flowing. Think about a child learning to walk. They don't stand up once and run across the room. They fall. They cry. They try again. They fall even harder. Nobody calls them a failure because everyone understands they're learning. Somewhere along the journey into adulthood, we forget that lesson. We expect ourselves to succeed immediately, and when we don't, we quit. We judge ourselves for falling instead of recognizing that every fall is evidence we'll still moving forward. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who dreamed of building a better life for his family. Every morning he woke up before sunrise. He worked long hours, came home exhausted, and still spent another hour learning a new skill before going to sleep. His friends laughed at him. They couldn't understand why he was sacrificing comfort. Months passed, and nothing seemed different. His paycheck looked the same. His house looked the same. His life looked the same. People whispered that he was wasting his time, but what nobody could see was the person he was becoming. His discipline grew stronger than his excuses. His confidence became deeper than his fear. His knowledge expanded while everyone else stayed comfortable. One day an opportunity appeared that everyone wanted. Most people weren't prepared. He was. Years of invisible progress suddenly became visible success. The world called him lucky. They never saw the thousands of quiet decisions that created that moment. That's how life works. The reward always arrives after the discipline, never before it. You see, wasting your life doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks comfortable. Sometimes it feels safe. Sometimes it feels like staying exactly where you are, because change is uncomfortable. Comfort has destroyed more dreams than failure ever could. Failure teaches you. Comfort convinces you that average is enough. Every morning, you have two choices. You can become a prisoner of your habits, or you can become the architect of your future. The difference isn't talent. It's the decisions you repeat every single day. You don't have to transform your life overnight. That's impossible. You simply have to win today. Read one more page. Walk one more mile. Pray one more prayer. Learn one new lesson. Replace one negative thought with a hopeful one. Speak one kind word to yourself instead of another criticism. Those tiny victories may seem insignificant, but they are quietly shaping the person you'll become. Remember this: nobody accidentally builds an extraordinary life. Every meaningful achievement begins with a small decision that almost nobody notices. One healthy meal, one difficult conversation, 1 hour spent learning instead of complaining, one act of courage instead of surrender. The beautiful thing about 1% better is that anyone can do it. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need more money. You don't need everyone's approval. You only need the willingness to refuse another wasted day. Because one day, today's small decisions will become tomorrow's incredible story. And when people ask how your life changed, you'll smile because you'll know the answer wasn't one magical moment. It was the quiet promise you made to yourself every single morning. Just 1% better, again and again, until the person you once dreamed of becoming is no longer a dream, but your reality. There is something the world rarely talks about. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against poverty. It is not against failure. It is not even against people who doubt you. The greatest battle is the one that happens inside your own mind every single day. Every morning, two voices wake up with you. One voice says, "Take it easy. You deserve another day off. You can start tomorrow. One more hour won't matter." The other voice whispers, "Get up. Your future is waiting." Every minute you waste is something you'll never get back. The voice that wins is the one you feed. That's why your daily habits are more important than your biggest dreams. Everyone loves talking about dreams. Dreams sound exciting. They make us feel alive. But dreams without discipline become disappointments. A dream written on paper changes nothing until your feet begin walking toward it. I remember hearing about a man who spent years saying he wanted to write a book. He bought expensive notebooks. He watched motivational videos. He told everyone about his incredible idea. Every January, he promised this would finally be the year. 10 years passed. The book was still trapped inside his imagination. Another man had no perfect office, no expensive equipment, and no audience cheering for him. He simply wrote one page every day before going to work. Some days the writing was terrible. Some days he felt inspired. Most days he didn't. One page. Just one page. Months later, those pages became chapters. The chapters became a manuscript. The manuscript became a published book. People called him talented, but talent didn't write that book. Consistency did. That's the difference between people who change their lives and people who spend their lives wishing things were different. The successful person doesn't always feel motivated. They simply refuse to negotiate with the promises they made to themselves. Understand something. Your emotions are temporary. Your habits become permanent. If you only work when you feel inspired, you'll spend most of your life waiting. But when you build discipline, your actions no longer depend on your emotions. You move because you've decided who you are becoming. Imagine an airplane leaving New York for Los Angeles. If the pilot changes the direction by only 1 degree, the passengers won't notice. The difference seems invisible. But after thousands of miles, that tiny adjustment leads the plane to a completely different destination. Life works exactly the same way. A tiny improvement today may seem meaningless, but after 1 year, after 5 years, after 10 years, that 1% becomes an entirely different life. Maybe today you decide to wake up 30 minutes earlier. Maybe today you choose water instead of another sugary drink. Maybe today you spend 20 minutes learning a skill instead of 20 minutes comparing your life to strangers on social media. Those tiny choices don't just change your schedule, they change your identity. Every action is a vote for the person you're becoming. When you exercise, you're not just building muscles, you're becoming someone who keeps promises. When you read every day, you're not just gaining knowledge, you're becoming someone who values growth. When you choose kindness instead of anger, you're not just changing one conversation, you're becoming someone people trust. Identity is built through repetition, one decision at a time. The problem is that many people expect immediate rewards. They plant a seed today and dig it up tomorrow to see if it's growing. Real growth happens underground first. The roots always grow before the fruit appears. Don't become discouraged simply because your progress isn't visible yet. Some of the most important changes are happening where nobody can see them. Your confidence is growing. Your patience is growing. Your wisdom is growing. Your resilience is growing. One day the results will finally appear, and everyone will think it happened overnight. But you will know the truth. It happened one ordinary day at a time. Let me ask you something. How many dreams have been buried by procrastination? How many incredible ideas have disappeared because someone kept saying, "I'll do it later"? How many people reached old age carrying the heavy weight of regret instead of the joy of fulfillment? Don't become one of them. Life is not waiting for you. The clock keeps moving whether you're prepared or not. The seasons continue changing whether you chase your purpose or ignore it. Every sunrise is asking you one simple question. What will you do with the gift of today? Not next week, not next month, today, because today is all you've ever truly owned. Yesterday is a memory. Tomorrow is a possibility. Today is your responsibility. Maybe you're thinking you've already wasted too much time. Maybe you believe you're too old, too young, too broke, too broken, too far behind. But listen carefully. The best time to plant a tree was years ago. The second best time is right now. Your past may explain where you've been, but it never has permission to decide where you're going. The moment you choose growth over excuses, your future begins changing. Not because life suddenly becomes easier, but because you become stronger. And once you become stronger, the obstacles that once looked impossible begin to look like stepping stones. Don't wait until life forces you to change. Choose to change while you still have the opportunity. One small step, one better decision, one more effort than yesterday. That's how ordinary people create extraordinary lives. There comes a point in every journey where excitement fades. The beginning is always beautiful. The first day you decide to change your life feels powerful. You feel unstoppable. You make promises to yourself. You imagine the person you're about to become. Your heart is full of hope. But then reality arrives. The alarm rings before sunrise, and your bed suddenly feels more comfortable than your dreams. The workout feels harder than it did yesterday. The book you've promised to finish sits untouched on the table. The business idea seems impossible. The rejection letter arrives. The criticism grows louder. The progress feels invisible. This is the moment where most people quit, not because they aren't capable, because they expected success to feel easier than it actually does. Here's what I've learned. Your future isn't decided on the days when you feel motivated. It's decided on the days when you don't. Anyone can work when they're excited. Anyone can smile when life is going well. Anyone can believe when the results are showing. But can you keep moving when nobody is clapping? Can you keep believing when your prayers seem unanswered? Can you keep building when all you can see is dust? That is where character is born. Think about a sculptor standing in front of a massive block of stone. The first strike of the hammer changes almost nothing. The second strike looks exactly the same. The 100th strike still doesn't reveal the masterpiece. Someone walking by might laugh and say, "You're wasting your time." But the sculptor knows something they don't. Every strike matters. The stone is changing, even when the eye cannot see it. Then one day, after thousands of blows, the stone finally cracks. People think it was the final strike that made the difference. It wasn't. It was every strike that came before it. Your life is no different. Every disciplined morning, every difficult decision, every temptation you overcome, every promise you keep, every lesson you learn from failure, they are all shaping the masterpiece of your future. Never underestimate what consistency is doing beneath the surface. Failure has fooled many people into believing they're not good enough. But failure is a teacher wearing uncomfortable clothes. Every mistake contains a lesson. Every setback contains wisdom. Every disappointment contains direction. The people who eventually win aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who refuse to let failure have the final word. Imagine a child learning to ride a bicycle. They fall. They scrape their knees. They cry. They stand back up. If that child quit after the first fall, they would never experience the freedom of riding. Yet as adults, we often abandon our dreams after one disappointment. One rejection convinces us we're not talented. One mistake convinces us we're not worthy. One bad season convinces us life will never change. Don't allow one chapter to define the entire story. Some of the strongest people you admire today once questioned themselves in silence. They wondered if they were enough. They wondered if anyone believed in them. They wondered if they should give up. The difference is they kept walking, even while carrying those doubts. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is refusing to let fear make your decisions. There will always be people who don't understand your vision. Some will laugh. Some will criticize. Some will disappear the moment life becomes difficult. Don't chase everyone's approval. If you spend your life trying to satisfy every opinion, you'll lose yourself in the process. The people who change the world are rarely understood in the beginning. Every dream looks foolish before it becomes reality. Every breakthrough looks impossible until someone achieves it. Don't measure your value by the number of people cheering for you. Sometimes the only voice you need is the quiet reminder inside your heart that says, "Keep going." One sentence, 2 words, keep going. When you're tired, keep going. When you're afraid, keep going. When progress feels slow, keep going. When nobody notices your effort, keep going. One day you'll look back and realize that your greatest strength wasn't your intelligence. It wasn't your talent. It wasn't your resources. It was your refusal to stop. Remember this: the strongest oak tree in the forest didn't become strong because life was gentle. It became strong because it survived countless storms. Every storm strengthened its roots. Every harsh wind taught it to stand taller. Your challenges are doing the same for you. Don't pray for an easier life. Pray for greater wisdom. Pray for stronger character. Pray for the courage to become the person your future requires. Because the life you've been dreaming about demands a version of you that is stronger than the you one standing here today. And that stronger version is not created overnight. It is created one decision, one habit, one lesson, one courageous step at a time. So if today feels ordinary, don't be discouraged. Ordinary days create extraordinary destinies. If today feels difficult, don't run from it. Difficulty is often preparing you for responsibility. If today feels lonely, remember that many great journeys begin in solitude before they are celebrated by the world. The question is no longer whether you can change your life. The real question is whether you're willing to keep becoming 1% better, even when nobody else can see the progress. Because one day, they will see the results. But long before they see them, you will become them. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to forget everything that sounds impressive and remember one simple truth. Your life does not change because of one motivational speech. It changes because of one decision. The decision you make after the speech is over. The decision you make when nobody is watching. The decision you make when the excitement has faded and all that's left is your commitment. Years from now, you won't remember every word you've heard today, but I hope you remember this feeling. The feeling that your life is worth fighting for. The feeling that your dreams are still alive, no matter how long they've been waiting. The feeling that you are capable of becoming far more than you've allowed yourself to believe. Stop measuring your life against someone else's timeline. The person you're competing with isn't the millionaire on your screen. It isn't your neighbor. It isn't your coworker. It isn't your friend. The only person you need to become better than is the person you were yesterday. 1% better. That's all. Not perfect. Not flawless. Not superhuman. Just better. If you read one page today, tomorrow read another. If you walk for 10 minutes today, walk again tomorrow. If you save a little money today, save a little more next week. If you fail today, learn today. If you cry today, stand up tomorrow. If you make a mistake today, don't let that mistake become your identity. Let it become your teacher. Life has an incredible way of rewarding those who refuse to quit. Not always quickly, not always in the way they expected, but eventually, the seeds you plant with discipline will grow into opportunities. The sacrifices you make today will become the blessings you enjoy tomorrow. The lonely mornings will become confident afternoons. The silent struggles will become inspiring stories. The habits you build today will become the legacy you leave behind. One day, someone will ask you how you overcame the impossible. They'll expect you to tell them about one extraordinary moment, but you'll smile because you'll know the truth. It wasn't one moment. It was thousands of ordinary moments. Choosing hope instead of despair. Choosing action instead of excuses. Choosing discipline instead of comfort. Choosing faith instead of fear. Again and again and again. Never forget this. Time will pass whether you grow or not. The next year is coming, whether you prepare for it or ignore it. The next birthday will arrive, whether you've chased your purpose or postponed it. So why not meet that future as a stronger person? Why not become someone your younger self would admire? Imagine that younger version of you standing in front of you right now. The child who believed anything was possible. The child who dreamed without limits. The child who didn't yet know the meaning of failure. What would that child ask of you? Not perfection, not fame, not endless success. Just courage. The courage to keep trying. The courage to believe again. The courage to refuse a life filled with regret. Because at the end of life, people rarely regret the risks they took with purpose. They regret the opportunities they never embraced, the conversations they never had, the dreams they never pursued, the life they were too afraid to live. Don't let that become your story. Starting today, make a promise that cannot be broken. Promise yourself that no matter what happens, you will keep growing. You will keep learning. You will keep showing up. You will keep believing. 1% better every single day. There will be difficult mornings. There will be painful seasons. There will be moments when everything inside you wants to give up. When those moments come, remember this. You have already survived days you once believed would break you. You have already overcome battles that nobody else even knew you were fighting. There is more strength inside you than you have ever given yourself credit for. Stand up one more time. Take one more step. Fight one more round. Believe one more day, because your breakthrough may be hiding behind the very step you're thinking about skipping. This is your life, not a rehearsal, not a practice run. This moment is precious. This day matters. This choice matters. And the person you become from this moment forward is entirely shaped by what you choose to do next. So when this video ends, don't simply feel inspired. Become committed. Close the excuses. Open the door to action. Write down your goal. Take the first step before fear has a chance to speak. Then wake up tomorrow and do it again. 1% better. The next day, 1% better. The day after that, 1% better. Because small steps, repeated with unwavering faith and relentless consistency, create extraordinary lives. And one day, you'll look back at the life you built, not with regret, but with gratitude. You'll smile, not because the journey was easy, but because you never stopped walking. Respected, your future is not waiting for perfection. It is waiting for your next step. Take it today. God bless you. Keep believing in yourself. And remember, your best chapter has not been written yet. It begins now.